Dreamer this episode. Episode 16, The Nightmare in National City. It's your boy Icon going over some DC TV, more specifically some Supergirl, which is coming to the end. So, in this particular episode, we are now on the search for the Dream Totem because, in the last episode, Kara had taken the Hope Totem and blew it to smithereens, and then Brainy apparently hid the other totem so that Mixley couldn't find it. Despite the fact that now Mixley can't put the All Stone together, she can't complete it, she's still on the search for the totems. Because we also saw with Mixie in the last episode, she had a package that dropped out of the sky from good old Lex Luthor. He didn't say his name, it just said Secret Admirer, but we all know it's Lex Luthor. So, so then the gift that, she had, it was a watch. When she put the watch on, it basically put an Iron Man suit on her that had its own AI. And the AI was talking to her and trying to help her, find the Dream Totem, and it was like guiding her along the way. So now Mixie's like, she's trying to find the Dream Totem. On the Supergirl side of things, Dreamer, she said that, when she went back home to try to get answers regarding the Dream Totem, she found that her sister basically left town after her and her dad had a disagreement over her, and that, she changed her name or whatever. So Dreamer, she's trying to figure out what can she do now to try to find the Hope Totem. And then Brainy tells her, he was just like, well, just think deeper and look at things that you really didn't look to, like look past the things that you've seen before and try to have a different perspective. So she ends up using her dream power, and she sees like a doctor's office, like an address in a doctor's office. So she's just like, oh, according to my dreams, this place will be able to help me. If I go to this place, this person, whoever's on the other side of that door, can help me locate the Dream Totem, and then we'll be one step closer. So she goes down to the address that she saw in her dreams to get information about the Dream Totem. When she arrives at the address, it turns out that it's actually her sister. That her sister moved to National City. I guess she's in National City, and she changed her name and she started this whole practice or whatever. When Nia sees her, the two of them have that awkward stare. They also have that awkward mini conversation about how, you said that I wasn't a real girl and you talked down to me, and then she was like, oh, you stole the dream power that should have been mine. Well, to be honest, her sister actually tried to apologize to her for that. I got to give her credit for that. But then Dreamer was just like, no, she's like, I didn't come here for that. I came here because I'm trying to find the Dream Totem. And then her sister was like, well, the Dream Totem is real. She's like, I never knew. And then, they started talking, and she was like, well, you're going to need my help. And then she gave her all these books and stuff to read. She showed her a necklace that their mom gave to her, the older sister, Maeve, I believe was her name. Maeve said that the necklace was supposed to help provide her with the dream power, with more dream power, to help her focus her dream power once her powers come in. But because she gave it to the older daughter, and it ended up being Dreamer who ended up being Nia that ended up having the dream power. The older sister never gave the necklace to Nia. So, but it did get brought up. But then Nia's whole thing was, she was just like, look, she was like, I'm just trying to find the totem. And I ain't got time to be reading 50 million books. She was like, anybody got time for that? So she said, since you have all the knowledge, since you've been reading up on dream energy and, looking into the dream world, since the beginning, why don't I just bring you with me into the dream world, and you can help me find the totem once we're in there. So naturally, her sister jumped on that opportunity. And when she jumped on that opportunity, she took Nia by the hand, and the two of them went into the dream world. Mixley ended up going to a scientist lab, which she was instructed to do by the new AI that's in her head. The AI told her, I guess this scientist, he's studying dream energy or something like that, and they said that she can use that person's experiments to open a portal to the dream world. So that's what she did. So she took a gauntlet, she sucked up all the energy and information out of that guy's computer, and then she used it to open a portal into the dream world. Supergirl and the gang showed up to try to stop her, but they were too late. And when Mixley jumped into the dream world and the Super Friends tried to go in after her, a monster, a dream monster, a nightmare monster came out of the dream world in its place and started running around National City. The monster was headed towards a nuclear plant because Lena had said that, the monster, dream energy is the same as nuclear energy, and she said that the monster will feed until it can't feed. And they didn't want the whole thing, they didn't want the monster to eat, like a nuclear plant. So Lena came up with an idea. She used satellites to create a force field around National City to prevent the monster from getting to the factory. The problem now, though, you done trapped a whole bunch of people in this dome, and the government started getting very uncomfortable when they found out the Super Friends put a dome over National City. Tensions and everything were running high, but the Super Friends were just like, listen, we're actually trying to stop this monster, from terrorizing and killing everybody. But, the government doesn't listen, and just like, oh, you have 24 hours to create a machine, because Lena and Brainy, they were trying to create a machine to stop the monster, and the government was like, you have 24 hours to do so. So now they're trying to work on that. In the meanwhile, Kara, she's trying to put the pieces of her life together. She's trying to do the reporter thing, because, she does have a job. And because they're dealing with the dream nightmare monster thing, she had pitched an idea to Andrea Rojas about doing an interview with the leaders of both Casnia and Corda Maltese, because those two countries were at war, because remember in the last episode they had that whole like War of the Worlds thing with the council, but those two countries were at war. And Kara had pitched an idea to sit down with both of them and try to negotiate for peace, like live on air. So Andrea, she bid it because she was like, oh, that's ratings gold. And then she told Kara to do it. But because Kara is actually dealing with the nightmare monster, every time she set up an interview for Kara to talk to these people, she kept missing it because she was doing Supergirl stuff. And then Andrea got mad, and then she was just like, oh, I don't question where you go when you disappear during the day. And then she was just like, I don't question you when you lied and said you were going to do something with Cat Grant and you came back with nothing. She was like, I give you the leeway because you're a damn good reporter and your work is basically flawless. But she was just like, yo, she's like, something's wrong with you. Your brain's not here. You think like you're not here. She's like, your mind is somewhere else and you need to get your mind right. Get your mind right, get your life and get it together. Otherwise you ain't gonna have no job. So she was like, I'm going to reschedule this meeting one more time and your ass better be there. So meanwhile now, Mixie is in the dream world. And while she's in the dream world, she ends up seeing Nia and Maeve. She ends up seeing both of them walking around. So the AI was like, yo, they trying to find the thing too. So let's just let them do all the work and just snatch that shit when they get it. So finally, in the midst of Dreamer using her dream power and also with her sister's, knowledge, they end up finding where the dream totem is. They find the dream totem, they run up on it. And as soon as they see the dream totem, Dreamer had changed into her dreamer costume, and she was going to go over there and grab the totem. But then her sister pushed her out of the way and tried to grab the totem for herself. And then the mean, scary totem voice came out of nowhere, and he was like, you are not worthy of the power because you seek to steal the power from your own sister for your evil deeds. And then Dreamer was like, bitch. She was like, you tried to take the power? And then she was like, oh, it never should have been. And I'm like, we still on this. Like, her sister's still on this. She was like, the power should have never been yours. And I was trying, she was legit trying to steal her power. And then, Dreamer, at that point, Dreamer was like, look, bitch. She was like, I ain't even want the power. And then she was like, yo, and you sitting here talking about how you try to be the dreamer. But she was like, look what the type of person you are. Like, you literally tried to snake me from behind and steal the power from me just because you were jealous. And she was just like, what kind of bullshit is that? And then while they were arguing, Mixley shows up out of nowhere and she's like, oh, well, if the two of you will argue, I'll just take the totem. And then, Dreamer starts fighting Mixley. And Dreamer still remembers how Mixley tricked her into letting her out of the dream world. And then while they were fighting, her sister came out of nowhere and she was just like, hey, listen, she's like, why don't you, she said, take mom's necklace because the mom's necklace should give you the extra boost you need to defeat her. So she ended up, she took the necklace and then, she got powered up for a second. And then she even said, she was like, yo, this was for fooling me 7 episodes ago. And then she blasted Mixley threw 70 feet back and hit the floor. But unfortunately at that point, she had already grabbed the totem. And then when she grabbed the totem, the AI was like, yo, she's powered up. I don't think we can beat her. And then Mixley was like, well, let's just dip then. And then, she disappeared. And then two of them went back to wherever they were. After that, then Dreamer and her sister, they came out of the dream world. And then her sister apologized. She was just like, yeah. She was like, yeah, I was selfish. She was like, I was selfish and I was jealous. She's like, I did want the power. She's like, I dedicated my whole life to this Dreamer thing. And then I didn't even get it. So I was feeling bitter. She was like, but after seeing you today, seeing you in action, seeing you be the Dreamer, she said, I just, she's like, I realized how wrong I was. She was like, you are worthy, you are deserving, and you are the Dreamer. And she was like, I apologize, and I wish, and I hope you forgive me. And then she was like, nope. She was like, nope. Dreamer dead ass. She was like, I don't forgive you, bitch. She was like, I don't forgive you. She was like, first of all, she was like, you disrespected who I am. You said I wasn't a real girl. She's like, she literally said, you tore me down. And you didn't even bat an eye. She was like, you didn't even feel bad about it. It was so easy for you just to tear me down. She was like, you left me. She's like, you left me to grieve our mother alone. You changed your name. You tried to hide from me. She was like, you don't get a pass. She was like, you don't get a pass for that. Cause she's like, you're never going to live down what you did. And she's like, I'm never going to forget what you did to me. She was like, but she's like, but what I can do is give you an opportunity to rectify the situation. And then she said, with that being said, I'll give you one more chance. I'll give you one more chance to kneel down and kiss the ring. And then she said, if, don't blow it because I'm the Dreamer and I'll bust your ass. And then, then the sister thanked her and then they made peace finally. And now they're starting to repair their damaged relationship. So now Kara, because she had one final chance to do an interview, while she was waiting for the interview, she ended up checking in with the Super Friends. And then Alex had told her that Dreamer failed the mission and she didn't get the dream totem. But then she also said that there was a mob trying to break through the dome, and then like the nightmare monster was on the loose, and it was like destroying some stuff. So then Supergirl ditched the meeting. She went to go take care of the monster. Her and the Super Friends, they defeated the monster. They took down the nightmare monster. They ended up stopping the people from busting through the dome, and they quieted things down a little bit. They destroyed the monster. They ended up destroying the monster, sending it back, and then the dome came down because now the monster was gone. There was no threat. But she missed the meeting because of that. So then when she goes back to work, Andrea basically was just like, yo. And then Kara's like, before you even say anything, she said that you're right. She said that I'm not here. She said, mentally, I'm not here. I'm somewhere else. And I can't focus on the job because there's other important things that need to be done. She told her, she was like, look, my mind's somewhere else. I gave all my information to William, and I think William should do the interview. And then she was like, Kara, what are you saying? She was like, bitch, I quit. She was like, I quit. I'm out. It took me 6 years, and I'm out this bitch. Like Catco, I'm done. And that was basically her just quitting because she wants to move on to trying to she wants to focus on stopping Mixley and saving the city. And unfortunately, she's at a point where her job is legitimately getting in the way. So let's keep it real. She don't like working for Andrea anyway. So her quitting really wasn't that hard. She can go work for James's paper, whatever town he's in. So, so that was it. She tethered, that's how it is. She tethered her resignation and she walked out, and Andrea was just there like, oh my, like clutching her pearls in disgust. So then she goes, so that was it. Kara walks out. And then like in the final scene, it shows Mixley, she's back at her hideout, and then, she was just like, oh, we have the dream totem, and then the AI was like, because she had a gauntlet, the AI turned itself into a gauntlet, and then she told Mixley, she was like, put the gauntlet in my hand, she was like, I have one more trick, and then the AI like blew up and like, it manifested itself into Lex Luthor, and I knew he was coming, but when he manifested himself and it was almost like I forgot what happened to him. Like, I legit forgot because episode 1 was a long time ago, and I remember they were in the Fortress of Solitude. He was getting blasted by every single character on the show, and I'm like, I don't remember, did they disintegrate him? Did he disappear? I legit forgot what happened to this dude. But to see him like manifest himself, to see like the dream totem bringing him back from wherever he was, now I need to go back and find out where he went, but I'm pretty sure he'll explain it in the next episode. But I'm just happy he's back because I love me some Lex Luthor, and like I said before, with Supergirl, and he better bring his ass on Superman and Lois because we need some Lex. He needs to stay. He's one of the best characters and he needs to stay. So now that Lex and like what it is, what's gonna happen is, because here's my prediction, Mixley and Lex are gonna team up, and then Lex is going to betray Mixley, and then Mixley's going to feel bad, and then her and Supergirl are going to team up to get one last totem together, and they're both going to use the totem to take down Lex Luthor. I already see that one coming. But that was it. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. And Lex is back, baby. Like, Lex in his house. So we'll see where this goes. We'll see where the betrayal goes as we continue to progress forward. Does Dreamer get the dream totem in the end? In the season finale, does Dreamer get her hands on the dream totem and gives it to her sister? That's share your thoughts, questions about that, and we'll see what happens. Like I said, we got a few more episodes to go as we prepare for the 2-hour series finale of Supergirl. So definitely keep your eyes out for that. I'll be doing reviews for that as well. I'm most likely going to do 2 videos because that's what I did with the end of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. S.H.I.E.L.D. had a 2-hour season finale and I broke it up. So look out for that. Check out my other videos. Check out my Stargirl. Check me out on Twitter. Check me out on Instagram. As always, leave your comments in the comment section on YouTube. Hit the notification bell because, again, we're doing all the DC TV that's out right now, which is a lot. And we're going to keep rolling on until the end or until the CW starts taking their annual breaks. So thanks for tuning in, guys. So until next time, for Supergirl, for the dream energy, and for the fact that Lex is back. Take care, and I'm out this